All right. You know what time it is for a little bit of that real talk and a little bit of those shenanigans. Same old same, different day. Now, it's been a few days, you know what I'm saying? I want to give a little cool down period after goodbye to the soft sessions. Now, that doesn't mean I ain't going to ever cover anything, because a lot of people are a little confused. It just means I'm not going to do any more of that series. So yeah, he'll still pop up. So, you ain't gotta feel too empty. We're going to do a little bleach thing over here. It's gone, but there'll still be a little bit here and there. But in the meanwhile, let's get on to these segments.
Back in the day, we're submissive. Like I said earlier, the wives weren't working. They were housewives. So how do you want me to give you what we did in the 60s or 50s or whenever they did it? Back in the day, we're submissive. Like I said earlier, the wives weren't working. They were housewives. So how do you want me to give you what we did in the 60s or 50s?
I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of people like to make comparisons to the 1950s, 1960s about what these women and what these men were doing. My thing is, you didn't live in that time. A lot of you did not live in that time. So for you guys born in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you are not in a position to give a critique or say what these women used to do. You were children at that time. And I'm pretty sure this lady here was maybe born in the 80s, maybe 82, 83. She's probably near her 40s or so. You can't speak on what women did in the 50s and 60s because, for one, you stayed your ass out of grown folks' business. So you wouldn't have known what was going on because they didn't put their business out in Front Street like y'all do today. So you couldn't even act like you knew what was going on because you stayed out of grown folks' business. And then two, you weren't there. You didn't live it. You were not married in the 50s and 60s. So you're not in a position to talk about what they did. All you have is what you read on Google. And even Google's not 100% accurate to a depiction of what really went on. The only people you can talk to are people who actually lived it and who were actually there. That's a side note, but let's move forward.
But you want me to live like I'm in 2024 and I'm working and doing everything that you want me to do as a woman. Like, they don't match up.
Okay, easy. See, this is another thing women don't understand. Cost of living, inflation. These are concepts that don't exist in a woman's mind. So the average man could provide for a family with just his wages back then for those times that you're talking about. If we look, the average home back then was like what? 100K, 200K?
All right, he's doing it on the fly, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. In 1960, the median home cost is $11,900, while the median income was $5,600, indicating a price to income ratio of 2.1. By contrast, in 2019, the median home cost was $240,500, with an estimated median income of $68,703, a price to income ratio of 3.5. So basically what that means is, as you can see with the yearly amount, multiply that by 2, with the 5,600, it's roughly about 11,200. So times 2.5-ish, that's how you'll get that 11,900 paying it off. Obviously, they still had rent, which I'm sure was probably about 150 a month, 200 a month, something like that. And since I got it available, I just went ahead and pulled it up. In the 60s, the American economy in the 60s is often described as having flourished for renters. The average rent price was just $71 at this time. The cheapest state to rent a home was Alabama at just $45 per month. And the most expensive state to rent a home was Alaska for $126 per month. Now, I know you're probably like, well, how you know about the Google? You just mentioned Google. Hey, what I said was Google doesn't give you a grand depiction of what went on in homes and houses, but statistics are different because statistics are data over time through averages in what was paid on paper. So yes, that's different. But as far as what went on in houses, what people specifically did, how they were moving and what they were doing, you had to have been there to really know what was going on. Like, you can read it, but it's not really a good depiction, like 90s being the golden era of hip hop. If you weren't there, you don't understand the evolution of games, systems and consoles. You can read about it, but you weren't there. So you don't get a real depiction of the groundbreaking things that were happening as they happened because you weren't there. Does that make sense? But let's move forward. And now, if we just go by 2019 basis at 68,000, it's almost times 3.5, almost 4. So it's basically twice the amount of what it was then to get that house and pay for that house. So yes, and it is more expensive now. So just to kind of give you an idea and all of that, but you also have to base it on the type of house you buy. So it does vary, but please continue.
Maybe. So the average home took about, from the income that the guy was making to how long it would take them to pay off the house, it was like 10 to 15 years. What's the average home loan right now?
30 plus.
It's like 30 plus. The home has like went up like quadruple from 200K to $1 million.
And keeping in mind, that property you're buying ain't even worth that. So like LTG was going over there talking about some, yeah, I was just going to get a house and I was just going to get a house, gang. Like, look.
The housing market is not even good. Bro, the housing market will never get better. There's never going to be a time where housing market's just, damn, that's the thing, I'm not even going to cop. See, I was going to cop a house, gang, but I'm going to just wait till 25 when the rates go low, interest rates, like shit too crazy, bro. Like I was going to put it down, but you know, I'm just going to wait. Okay, keep waiting then. The longer you wait, the more difficult it is for you to be able to get a home.
You gonna pay 3 to 4 times what that house is worth. And when stuff breaks, oh, it ain't $5-10. No. You're coming out anywhere from $3,500 to $10,000 on some of these breaks. If you're lucky, you get like a $300 to $500 problem. And it's all your responsibility to fix it. It ain't like renting no apartment where they'll come in there and the maintenance man, nah. It's all you.
Still here. He still had 40,000. So it's not like his wages went up as the fucking cost of living went up. Oh, excuse me. And inflation went up. Fought to work. So women fought to work. Men wanted you at home. Women say, no, stay home. I want you with the kids. I want you to cook. No, f that. We want to be equal. We want to work. So first of all, y'all have to be mad at the women of the past that fought to work, which that was a plan by the government too. That was a psyop. They said, hey, we're only taxing men. If we let women work, we could tax men and women. Not only can we tax men and women, now we have full control of their kids because the mom isn't raising them. The mom isn't instilling family values in them. They're at school all day. They're at daycare all day. So all of this is one big plan. Not only that, they're starting to give women more money than men because for that very reason, you won't respect a man that makes less than you. Or even if you make equal to a man, you're going to look down on him.
No, not necessarily.
On a large scale, yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's why they call it monkey branching, because you want to go to something better. If that man is even slightly comparable to you, you're not interested. There's very few cases where a woman has more money than that man and treats that man with utmost respect or not like a son husband. That's on the law. We're not talking about the minority. We're not talking about the 2 or 3 people. We're talking about on a 80 to 90% scale. Any woman who makes the equivalent and or more than that man, she will have no respect for him and she will leave and or cheat on him when she gets the chance, more times than not. And again, I don't want to hear about the exceptions to the rule. We talk about the majority.
That's a fact.
No.
She just said if she makes more money, she can't submit to him or be submissive.
Have to be submissive. Why? Because if you look up the definition of submissive, it doesn't sound good.
Ma'am, let's be clear. Everybody submits every day in their life. You will submit to your employer. You will submit to the authority. You will submit to the IRS, and you will have their damn money if they tell you you're going to have it, even if they wrong. You will submit to the police if they pull you over. And if you don't, there's going to be ramifications. In groups of men, what do we do when there's a man in the room who knows more, or the more powerful figure? What do? We submit by falling back, falling in line. There's nothing wrong with that. This is why majority of you fail. What will make you think that you think men don't submit? Men submit all the time. In leadership, what makes you think that we don't submit? Especially if there's somebody more experienced than us. It's silly. You're over here playing semantics and wondering why you're failing at everything. This is why your life's out of order, because you can't follow instructions. Simple as that.
Why?
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Hold on. I want to read that because
Read it.
I don't think okay, what's the definition of submissive?
Read it. I want you to read it.
Do you know it?
I read it and it didn't sound good.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll do it. Let's look it up. Here we go. Ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive.
Let's give an example, right? Let's say you know a lot about hardware. Let's say you know everything about building cars, but you walk into a room of people who build spaceships, and the objective is to build spaceships. Are you gonna go in there and tell them how to build a spaceship? No, fool, because you build cars. Let's do another one. You make burgers. Are you gonna go into a taco joint and tell them how to make tacos? No, you're gonna shut your ass up, sit in the background and take notes and learn. You're gonna submit, shut your damn mouth, and learn how to do what you're supposed to be doing. You're not gonna come in there and argue with them when you make burgers. It's common sense. So I don't know what y'all got in y'all mind, man. Y'all need help. Something wrong with y'all.
Say it with me.
Submissive.
I don't see how that word don't sound good. I know, to tell you the truth, if you have a job, you already do that. So don't see how what you said makes sense. Just being honest. Most of y'all do that already.
I think you need
Ready to conform to the authority or will of others. Meekly obedient or passive. Okay, so
Yeah,
is your
I mean,
man?
like
Hold
I'm
on.
in jail.
Okay, now
Hold on.
read-
Hold on. No, hold on.
Yeah, meekly.
Listen,
What?
ready to conform to the authority or will of others. Is your husband not the authority in the home?
I feel like that's slavery or like
Don't you ever in your life, don't you ever in your life compare being a wife to slavery. Ever in your life. I don't think, you know what? We might need to pull up some of the atrocities of slavery because you don't know what the hell slavery really is.
Brutal conditions and harsh climates. Some started working in domestic chores as young as 2 or 3 years old. This of the time was shackling slaves. This photo represents a horrifying practice that remained a fundamental tool for control in the African slave trade. The slave shackle. More than just iron restraints, they held away in lifelong servitude and inhumane treatment, shackled by the cruel realities of the slave trade. Think about it for a moment. You spend your entire life in someone's backyard, working, never getting to experience what freedom is.
So let me get this straight. You comparing being a stay-at-home mother and or wife to that? Y'all need to do some research on history. Oh yeah, and that link will be below. So next time you decide to compare getting taken care of to lifelong torture and servitude, honestly, you should just be excommunicated. I mean, you should be kicked out of the community, period. You should be kicked out of the black community, period, saying something stupid like that. I expect that from somebody else. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just my take on that.
Oh, for sake. Not that again.
Is your husband?
my wife.
Damn, I keep forgetting you got a wife. God damn. So you got a whole different dynamic.
Right.
But for the average, a man and a woman, who's the authority in the home?
We 50-50.
No.
I'm telling you, if
Your
I
wife.
were to get married, no, I'm saying like if my wife, we're 50-50. But if I were to get married tomorrow to a man, we will be 50-50.
I do. That's true, though. If she's more on the butch side, that is true. They will do 50-50. But here's the thing that I'm going to say. It ain't going to work because it ain't no 50-50. Somebody got to lead something. You can't go nowhere if ain't nobody leading. If you got two leaders, you're going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? A leader, there can only be one leader because with multiple leaders, you're going to halt progress because y'all are not going to see things the same way, leading to you standing still, right? So when you say 50-50, it ain't gonna be 50-50. Because if you with a man, there's automatic expectation, which means he will automatically have to do 70-30. Even if you're saying we pay 50-50, your protection is not 50-50 at all. If it is 50-50 on the financial, you're not going to have that same respect for him. It's going to be a roommate situation. And no man wants a roommate. If a man wanted a roommate, he just have a roommate. Because he still got to tend to you emotionally. That's not entertaining for most men to entertain your emotions. It's not. We have other things going on that we'd rather be doing. Like Osmond Gold sat there and said he didn't bathe for almost 15, 20 something days. He said because he likes to do what he wants to do. That's most men on average. We like to do what we want to do. It's not a benefit. Even if it's just emotional, we still have to give up more.
You would be divorced.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
You
facts.
would either be.
I can call somebody. It's facts.
But look, you would either be married to a simp.
But
You would either
No,
be married to a simp,
not at all.
or
College
you would be
graduate,
divorced. No,
black man.
that's
Like, what?
cool. He's still a simp if he
Okay.
accepts his woman telling him, "Hey, because I'm paying bills and working like an adult, like everybody else in America, I'm only going to submit to you 50% of the time." If he accepts that, he's a simp.
I guess the word submit doesn't work well with me because
Why
number
not?
one, because I don't like it. You just read it. Meekly. I don't like that word. Google the word meek.
My issue is all the false aggression. Like there's always so much energy, but when stuff goes left, you submit to a man to protect you. That doesn't make any sense. Protect yourself then. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The first sign of something going left, you're calling a man. That's the issue. If you truly that aggressive in your nature and in your words and in your speech, you are not worthy of having a man. And I know some of y'all be like, dang, that's aggressive. Why you say it like that? Well, for one, your mouth is going to write checks that your ass can't cash. And your man's going to be responsible for paying the price and the punishment of your mouth. A lot of you ladies are far too reckless with your mouth. You always going around writing these checks, and what do? The first thing you do is what? I'ma call my dad, I'ma call my brother, I'ma call my cousin. That's what you do, but you speak with such bravado and such aggression versus just understanding the true, basically understanding the truth behind the words and the truth behind standing down, because your aggression can actually cost your man. Your mouth can cost your man more than I think he's going to be willing to pay, but he's going to pay it. Your mouth and your aggression has led to many of men being locked up in prison for life. It's led to many of men losing their lives based on your aggression. The issue with a lot of this aggression is I call it false aggression because you're not really built like that. So when you're matched with this energy, you always coil and fall back. You submit. You cower. So what's the point of this aggression? Why? Calm down. Fall back. Tone it down. Because too many of you types of women cause issues for everybody else in society. And I mean everybody else. Because when you start that, it gets finished through us. And now everybody got to pay for your mouth. And that's a fact. And there's statistics. Don't make me pull them because I will if I have to. Continue.
Okay.
I don't like that word.
Out of everything in that definition, you picked out meekly. Okay, let's go with the first thing you said. Ready to conform to authority. Is your man not the authority?
Ready to conform sounds like, okay, so now you with him, you need to just go with his plan.
Yes,
Everything
absolutely.
Say, do no.
That is the
because
point.
If his plan does not make sense to me, I'm not going with your plan.
See, here's a misconception about submission. Submission doesn't mean everything he says, you just go with it blindly. If something doesn't make sense, you are supposed to question it. You'd be like, well, I don't think that's a good idea because XYZ, but you got to know what you're talking about, because a man will value a woman's opinion. He will value her thought. He will value her input if she knows what she's talking about. Men we know when to fall back. And if you know something more than what we know, we're going to value what you have to say. A real man is going to value what you have to say. That ain't what that mean. It doesn't mean every and anything he says you follow it like a servant. That's not what that means. What it means is you don't know a lot because you live life on easy mode. We do not live the same lives. So in turn, you don't know as much as we do because we don't live on easy mode. There's literally a whole section of women right now faking like they breastfeed and getting millions of views and getting paid. Just because they acting like they're breastfeeding. Can't no man get on here and act like he's trying on sweats and get 5 million, 10 million, some odd views. Heck, he would be banned. Our lives are different. Everything that a man does is unforgivable, heavily punishable, and we don't get any leniency or leeway. We also get punished harder by the law when we're arrested. We get longer sentences. We get less lenient sentences. We're automatically deemed a villain and deemed guilty before innocent, and we have to prove our innocence versus being proved that we're guilty. We are not the same. You're not like us. I almost dropped the Kendrick in there. You're not like us. We are different. We are different. Therefore, And again, I ain't calling every man a real man. Every man ain't a man who's built to lead. That's not true. Again, we ain't talking about the exceptions. We talking about you making a decision for somebody you deeming worthy and competent and following because you chose well within the man you chose. You say, hey, I think this man got it together. And if you choose that man because you think he got it together, then you need to follow him because you don't date down. Inherently, women do not date down. That man has to be better than you in some way. Therefore, what? Men date down. We don't even call it that. But if you want to be technical, we date down because we don't feel as if we have value in ourselves. So we be like, that's cool. Let me go a little bit lower than what I think I should get just to be sure that I can, get something decent. That's how we think. Y'all, on the other hand, are like, nah, dude, you got to make 2-3 times more than me. You got to be this, that. You got to be the oxymoron. You got to be the hood guy, yet business guy, got your life together. You got to be this tall or whatever. You got to have this much money. That's what y'all do. You're not dealing with nobody on your level or slightly above your level. You want them significantly above your level. Statistically, that's a fact.
Baby, we need to tweak your plan because your plan this is the thing. This is what guys need to understand.
So would you marry a man?
I was talking to a guy and I got rid of him because that was his thought process, right?
Why the would you commit to a man that you could not submit to? This is my question to women. Y'all keep saying I'm getting these guys and his plans don't make. Okay, that's a part of the vetting process, the dating process. Right. When I meet him, I get to see where his headspace is at. I keep hitting these buttons. When I meet him, we talk. So as we're talking, I'm finding out what type of woman you are. You find out what type of man I am. Before we ever get serious, you should have already known if you could follow my direction or not.
Right. Okay, so let me tell you this. I look at it like this, and it may be simple, right? Simple as fuck. For example, me, I'm 32, right? I have a plan. I know where I'm going. I have this plan. I see a vision. I know where I'm trying to get to, right? You, however the fuck you are, a 36-year-old man. Let's use me and you. You have your plan and where you trying to go, where you trying to take your career, right?
Absolutely.
When we merge together, I'm not about to just go with your plan.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's why you stay single in your 30s. That's why you stay single. And when you wind up messing around and finding out, doing all of that, and you by yourself, then there you go. You can have all the trinkets and all the money and all that you want. Be out here looking silly like Aubrey Graham. Hey, chase that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But this is what I'm going to tell you. There's no such, you don't just get to $1 million dream and that's it. Like, y'all are so economically uninformed. It's hilarious. Like, it's laughable. I keep hearing this thing, man, yeah, and I get my money. And like, as I stack the money up and then I get the $1 million dream, do you not understand what millionaires do every day? Do you not understand what Fortune 500 companies do every day? Do you not understand it's hard to make that money and even harder to keep it and keep making it? You think when you get to $1 million dream, oh, it's over, we made it, beat the game over. This is not a video game. This is not Grand Theft Auto. Y'all literally live life like it's some type of movie. The higher up you go on the ladder, the more that is going to require from you to be successful. It's going to require more. The higher you climb, the more it's going to take. And the more that you make, the more you're going to go on a power trip. The more you're on a power trip, the more disrespectful you're going to be. When you chase $1 million dreams, you have to be aggressive and competitive, therefore leading to you being disrespectful because you can't turn it off. Why would a man want to be with that? But go ahead, continue.
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
What?
Okay, this is my point.
What? Why did you get with him? It's literally, oh my God. I don't know how many times I have to say these things. Women were supposed to look at men as the job. If this job is going to take you to the direction you want to go, sign up for it and do what he says, because it's going to take you to the place you want to go anyways. But if you're telling me you sign up for jobs and then act like you can now become the CEO or like the janitor when they want you moving boxes, you can't do that. Their thinking style is all off.
If you're not gonna just go with my plan, that means we ain't for each other. I can't not have a woman that's not going with my plan. This means you're going to derail my plan.
No.
We have to be on the same, listen, a train, we got to be on the same track.
Listen, I see you got your plan, but I got my plan.
Cool. And do your plan by yourself.
So we got to see how our plans come together. I can't just go by your plan. Your path may not be my path.
Nothing wrong with that. Stay single.
But that's my point. As partners, our path, your path has to be my path.
It does not
or
have
we
to be.
can't be partners.
Because guess what? I got dreams, you got dreams, right? So I need to live out my dreams. Now, if my dreams is making you that uncomfortable to where you can't be with me and we can't build and come together.
No, that's not how that works. Because the man that you're going to want is already going to have it together. You're not going to get no man trying to build anything. And then if you do choose a son husband, you ain't going to respect him. It's going to be a lose no matter what, because either you're going to choose one that's higher and he already got it, or you're going to choose one lower and you're not going to respect him. You fell into conundrum territory. And that's how that works. And at the end of the day, there's very finite things as a woman that you can offer. And it's not even saying this in a disrespectful manner. You have to remember you only have a certain amount of years for safe births. And on top of that, you forget you're competing with women turning 18 every day, in their 20s every day. How can you compete against somebody who's more near, who have just come into the market, fresh without the trauma, and with less drama? How are you going to compete with that? And I'm not even saying it like you have to. I'm saying it for your sake. How can you compete with your younger model going into her early 20s and her more fertile years? How? Because if you're trying to be big boss, you're not going to be around, and you're going to expect monogamy from that man as well. So what really are you offering besides being a homie that he barely see, and then you too tired and all? Why would a man do that?
Because I got $1 million dreams, you got $1 million dreams. Why we got to just push your dream? I may be closer to my than you, and you may just be right there.
You know
Don't
why?
get with me then.
Why?
Because you are still supposed to be a wife. So at that point,
True.
those $1 million dreams is taken away from you being a wife, because you being a wife is helping me take a load off of what I need to do to get me to those $1 million dreams. You want me to be a half of a housewife while you go chase dreams like a husband. Like what do you mean?
What if my
Your dreams gonna take a backseat to mine?
No. No. Okay. Let's
yes.
go ahead and wrap this
Oh my Lord.
up.
Your dreams gonna take a backseat to mine.
No, I just feel like because she said she was closer, right? Let's say she only like 4 minutes away from her dream. I'm going to put you on hold to get to my 4 minutes, and then we can pick this up and then I'll submit to you.
Because that's how that works, right? I become uber millionaire successful, and now all of a sudden I'm just gonna listen to this other guy who has not achieved or accomplished what he was aiming for. Like that, yeah, sure, that's exactly how that works. Anyways, please continue. Silly.
But I'm like closer to the $1 million prize. So why am I gonna sit here? Why
4
can't
minutes.
we be on the same way where we like still trying to go to the?
Listen, y'all, I get it. I feel for you. You know, we all family in one way or another. Listen, all y'all keep talking about $1 million dreams. Do we need to pull up the percentages? The United States is home to by far the largest contingent of dollar millionaires, 22 million in 2023, representing 6.6% of the country's population. 6%. So you keep talking about these $1 million dreams, make a million this, million that. That is 6.6%. And we're not talking about, you made it and then you got hit for that 40% and you only got 6 left. No, this is people who have $1 million after the taxes. Y'all ain't making that. You keep talking about this 6% lifestyle. This is why you can't lead anything, because y'all steadily talking about millionaire this, millionaire that. Oh, and I'm gonna just listen. It's a dog eat dog to even get to millionaire status. Cut it out.
Same location to be $1 million couple, but why can't we tweak it a little bit?
As we're dating, as we're vetting, we're gonna sit down, and as you're discussing your dreams, if they don't align with mine, we can't combine. Right.
And look, I'm sorry to keep cutting this off. The level of sacrifice that it takes to make $1 million, 94%. 94% of Americans ain't built like that. A lot of these people who are millionaires got it off of a lucky guess, lucky gamble, and they're able to keep flipping it. Most people are not. I'm talking about making it the real way. I mean, really getting out there, getting it. I'm talking about running companies, having employees under you, running multiple locations, running all these numbers, having accountants, having all of these titles underneath you. You ain't built like that. To even reach millionaire status, you cannot legally, let's be clear, you cannot legally reach millionaire status without a whole damn near corporation going on with multiple people involved. You can't do it unless you get lucky on some type of investment. It's not going to happen. And even then, to keep making that million over million, you gotta really be about that grind life. You don't get to make $1 million and I just chill and take vacations all the time. Now, essentially getting there, yeah, it's gonna be very difficult unless you're doing real estate and stuff like that. But if everybody doing real estate, I don't know how you're gonna make money doing that. I mean, you could try, but most real estate agents ain't balling out. Some make some decent money, but not all. And I'm out of using California because it's more of a tourist state. So the top earners are making $126,000 a year, 75 percentile 98,000. The average is about 85,000, and the lower end is 59,200 a year. So, like I said, because most people always want to run the real estate, be like, yeah, I got a business and I'm doing it, but most of the time it's going to be real estate, and most people are not the top earners. So no, you're not going to go into millions of dollars dealing with real estate, and some properties may wind up costing you more than they make you, or you might actually wind up just breaking even thinking you're getting a steal. But yeah, anyways, please continue.
Because you're trying to go this way, I'm trying to go that way. Once we become partners, we have to go this way as a unit.
Right.
How in the can we be partners if you walking this way, I'm walking that way? Which way do the kids go? Do they follow mommy? Do they follow daddy? No, mommy, daddy got to be on the same trail. Kids on the same trail. We both reach success. Once you start saying $1 million dream, okay, now I need details. What's the
right? Exactly. So, for example, he see what I got going on. So guess what? He like, babe, I'm gonna push your before I push my, because I ain't even really started on mine yet.
What kind of man are you dealing with? What kind of man are you dealing? You see how you automatically going into a bad argument? So you already basically saying, I'm not even going to choose a man of a caliber of what I'm supposed to be choosing. I'm going to choose somebody who ain't got nothing going on, or they ain't got going on what I need to go on. And second note, fellas, don't ever, I'm going to repeat it again, don't ever build them up to leave you, because that's what they're going to do. When you build them up and you can't match where they went, and they gonna feel like you should just automatically be able to do it, she ain't gonna help you. That's not how that's gonna work. You ain't gonna build her up and then she gonna take that same time out to build yours. She gonna be too busy running her own. Secondly, she gonna feel like you should have already been able to do it without her help. And if she does help, all she gonna do is sun you all the time, like she did it all by herself without your help. Trust me, you argue if you want to. I'm just telling you how it is and what it is.
So I'm gonna help you get to yours because I see the vision. That's a real
shit.
So guess what? He went and got another job. He works 120 hours a week to help me with my brand.
What the chief?
Because I'm closer. He can he can pass me the ball, and guess what? Boom, I'm gonna make it.
Okay, so in my opinion, so in my opinion, that's a contradiction to almost everything you guys said earlier.
Why?
Because you guys said you want a man of certain status, making certain money already. A guy like that, before he met you to get to where he was, his program was already airtight to allow him to get there. He's already disciplined to the T. So anybody that's joining his team is doing just that. You're joining his team, his program. He's not coming to a woman like, oh yeah, what? let me see what your game plan is. Or
Why don't you sit your creepy ass down in the corner over there?
no, what type of women are you? Okay, this is what I'm doing.
What my game plan is, and he see like, babe, you on your shit. I'm gonna help you so you can get closer to the ball. I mean, closer to the $1 million. Why not?
No, it's not a charity. It's a relationship. A man is not a charity. He's not a charity to get you where you need to go. He is not a stepping stone. What he needs you to do is to be a wife. That's what that man's expect. Hey, you can argue whatever you want to, but that man of the stature and caliber that you're looking for wants you to be a wife. He ain't looking for a business partner. He already got that. He's already there. He already established. What makes you think a man want to get with you as a business plan? If that man gets with you in a business plan, I hope you got an 18 to 25% residual for him every year that you about to break off from your company, even when y'all not together. If you're not getting ready to do that, then you need to cut that business talk, because if he builds your stuff up, the building stuff ain't free. Like, where do y'all get off thinking that this is free? If you get a business built up to quote unquote $1 million dream, you're gonna have to pay that man a residual forever until that business dissolves. But you ain't gonna want to do that though.
Okay, so he's not where he wants to be then,
He
right?
at where he's at where he's at. He's making
No, not where he's at.
he's making 80K.
Right. Okay, so
So
is
now
his
he's telling
lifelong
me-
dreams making 80K?
No, he wants to make more.
Okay, so my advice to him, instead of helping push you, how is he going to get to where he needs to go by
'Cause
pushing you?
You want to know? You're
You're
how?
telling him to put his dreams and his.
No, I'm
this
not.
is the madness.
I'm not because you want to know why? He went and got another job. He said, I'm gonna get another full-time job so that way I could pay off all my debt and I can help you with your because you're closer. I'm gonna pay off all my debt so that way we can take trips, we can do this, and then that way I can help you with your brand because you're right there.
What the hell is all this take trips crap? Where did this crap come from? There was a point in time, y'all keep talking about the 1960s and 70s. You think these people were just traveling the world? Do you not understand a trip was like a heavily planned event? Like, this is a once a year or a once every 2 years endeavor. And a lot of times people drove. They didn't even just fly wherever they were going. They drove there. It was a road, like a 24, 30 something hour road trip. They didn't even get on a plane to save money. Where do y'all get off thinking that there was a point in time where people were just traveling like where people could just travel like crazy? It ain't set up like that. Did you not just hear this man say to get a house is 4 times the amount it used to be? Like, what's going on in y'all's mind? Like, what is this? And you wonder why you're getting left alone? You wonder why people don't want to deal with you? And I'm not even saying it to be disrespectful. Like, you talk like you know so much, but you know nothing.
I'm still handling my and my kids, and I'm helping you. That's a real at the end of the day.
No, that in my opinion, that's not a real.
Yes.
That's a who's lost on his vision, because a man putting his purpose on pause for a woman.
How is he putting
is
his
a
purpose on
fool.
pause?
With submission.
He's doing 120 hours a week to get you closer to your dream. He did put his on pause. Are you not listening to what you're saying? It's like, are you just letting words come out? Oh yeah, man. You need the most prettiest green wigs. What you're saying, it sounds like you wear green, shiny wigs.
Comes compromise.
Right.
So
and the compromise
is that you need to follow suit sometimes and meet me halfway.
There you go.
No,
She said
listen.
it.
That's what it is.
Listen, for a man, for a man,
Okay.
listen, it's purpose and then it's everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose comes first. It does not compromise for
Anybody.
anybody.
You should not compromise.
So if he's going to pause his purpose
He ain't
and
pausing.
say, hey, you closer to your dreams, I'm going to put this on pause and I'm going to push you up here. As he does that, you're going to lose respect for him.
No.
Of course
Good
you're gonna
luck.
say no.
You're gonna lose respect for him as a man.
Because how is he pausing? He's not pausing. If it go,
If he
out-
got a second
Shifting.
job,
He's not
no, listen,
pausing.
if he
Shifting.
if he got a second job
Uh-huh.
to pay off debt so you can do what you got to do.
No, he got a second job to pay off his debt so he could do what he has to do for himself. Also, what I have to do for myself.
Man, all due respect, shut up, man. Like, shut up, man. Like, I'm done, man. This babble, I don't even know how y'all sit here and do this all day, man. Nah, you not pausing, but you gonna push me up while not stopping what you doing and doing what you doing. Shut up, man. Anyways, links below like always in the description. If you kicked it with your boy this long, I appreciate you hanging with me, but I'm done, fool. Y'all have a good one.